Hi guys, welcome back for another one. I do have a special guest with me today, Niko. Niko, welcome back to the channel.
Hey, thanks for having me.
I'm glad to have you here. Today I want to talk about Real-Time Arena and the changes they have made. But before we talk about this current season, I kind of want to get your feedback, or at least your perspective of what the last 5 seasons before this one were like. So how have you felt about Real-Time Arena since it was first launched and up till the last 5 seasons? Not including this season, but up until the last 5 seasons.
It sucks. I'm sorry, man. There's nothing really much to say about that one. The first couple seasons of the game were terrible. You were stuck in this mode where you had to basically play patty cake with your opponent, grind up ability, and you had to use characters like She-Hulk and Doc Ock that a lot of people either hadn't unlocked or didn't have built up in any way. Right? And then if you go on the Reddit and people complain and be like, I was against this opponent and he like slaughtered me instead of letting me like play patty cake and build up ability. So you like somehow you become the jerk. I don't know if I'm allowed to swear here. You become the jerk because like you didn't play patty cake with the other guy. And then as it went on and on, they kept putting characters like Zemo, Taskmaster, Silver Surfer, Astonishing X-Men, where I don't even get a turn. I just sit back and I watch my team gets slaughtered while I'm trying to grind up my mystics. So yeah, no, it has fun. I can see that they are working on making it better, and I'm glad that there's less requirements now, but I have not enjoyed real-time. I gotta say, I enjoyed playing Blitz before the auto sim more than real-time arena.
Wow, that's a strong point of view. Enjoyed Blitz more than real-time arena. So I think you brought up a couple of points I want to hit on. So first on, the Baron Zemo thing, right? They now ban, let me count the characters here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 characters, right? They now ban 8 characters a season. And, every day we talk about RTA on Twitch chat, with my Twitch chat. And one of the things that always comes up is like, so-and-so characters is viable and it makes it no fun. It doesn't matter who's banned. There's always something that makes RTA not fun to someone. I don't know like how many, if it's the majority or not. Like, it was now I think people were complaining about Baron Zemo again, but the last 2 seasons I know a lot of people were complaining about the Astonishing X-Men, how none of them were banned, and people were just rolling in with full Astonishing X-Men and most people couldn't take care of it.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah. And then I guess the other thing that you brought up, talking about the seasons. I mean, I remember what season 1 was all about, like Phoenix Cheese, just send in Phoenix and your 4 objective characters, and to get the knockouts and get the objectives kind of done. And then they kind of wised up and started to evolve from there and listen to player base. So yeah, they have been working on it. It's not a great game mode. It's a game mode that I say personally for myself, if it wasn't awards attached to it, I wouldn't be doing it at all. How do you feel about it?
I entirely agree. I don't have any fun with it. I wouldn't say that they're listening to the player base, to be honest.
Okay.
It looks to me like, you consider that, like just talking about with the Astonishing X-Men and with Zemo, they made a game mode where you need to have the best, newest characters to do well, right? Just like every other game mode. I get it. This is a business, right? But like you consider with Mystic, right, where you think, oh, I'll just bring my Supernatural, right? Except you're going to get slaughtered by Silver Surfer and like those Shadowlands people, right? So again, like you need to have the newest meta to do well in this game mode. And like you mentioned with the Phoenix Cheese, was that fun? Did you have fun putting your 8K She-Hulk and your 9K Iron Man and all those other chumps with Phoenix and putting it on auto? Because I had loads of fun doing that.
Yeah, it wasn't. I mean, RTA has been nothing but a background application to me. Like, most of the time, same setup right now, guys. Right in front of my main screen right here. I got a second screen over here, and most of the day, like when this comes out that night, I'll turn on Marvel Strike Force on BlueStacks, put it on my second screen, and run it on auto while I'm working on a different project on my main screen. That's me every single night with RTA. It hasn't changed in season 1. I still do it here in season 6. I mean, what tactics do you do to kind of like, do you play the game on auto or do you manually play it?
Okay, so in the beginning, I would try to play it, especially when there were certain matchups that were fun. And the thing that I did appreciate about RTA is that you put in situations where, just example, you're using your power armor team against a supernatural team, and you're kind of like, oh, I wonder when was the last time I got to do this matchup. I wonder who's going to win. right? And you
Yeah.
get to see if you can hurt your opponent and stuff like that, right? But then as it progressively turned into, oh, they got Zemo on their team, I'm going to lose. Yeah, I just started putting it on auto. And my strategy is I've been binge watching shows on Netflix. But yeah, thank you very much for getting rid of the low quality screen time. I am having lots of fun putting my game on auto while I watch TV.
All right, so binge watching Netflix is the best advice. All right, so now let's get into this current season, because this is the main reason why I wanted to do this video, because they have made a lot of changes, and now we have what is currently in this new season. You know, the objectives are a lot less knockouts required per daily. So before I talk about the points system, overall, how do you feel about this season compared to previous seasons, or you just don't feel anything different?
It does feel a little easier. I do like that I have to do 30 instead of 50,
Okay.
right? Especially when I get stuck with a terrible team, right? But that's the other thing too. Actually, now that we've mentioned that, now that there's more of villains and heroes rather than Mystic, it definitely gives you a lot more options. So
Yeah.
it's made it a little easier, but it's still on auto because it's not particularly fun.
Yes. So you brought up another good point that I actually didn't even think about bringing up during this video was, do you think RTA is better and easier for the late game players than it is newer players?
Oh yeah, for sure. I have a lot more options available to me.
Yeah, this is a game mode, like it was said, it kind of reminded me that this is a game mode that benefits a wide roster and a developed wide roster, not just a wide roster in general. So late game players have a better developed roster for, tunes that are more maxed out to their full capabilities, as where a new mid game player is not going to have that, and with the options available. So yeah, I think this is a little bit more of a slog for new and mid game players, but definitely not as a time sink it once was for late game players. Would you agree with that statement?
Yes, I agree.
Okay. All right, so let's get into the point spread. I'm gonna ask you how you feel about this. I got a couple of different points to make with this thing, but first, talk about the point spread. So they did reduce the amount of points you can earn on a daily and weekly basis. There's still a surplus that you can complete this without actually clearing every objective, but it's going to push us into playing manually into that fourth week. If you were someone like me who pushed all the objectives very hard and did them all the first 3 weeks, you got to take that fourth week off if you chose to. How do you feel about the whole entire points change? Possibly having to play a few more battles into the fourth week. What's your take?
I think that it doesn't really make a big difference at the end of the day, right? I mean, like,
Yeah.
if we're playing this game now, we're going to be playing this game until it ends, basically, right? So
Yeah.
it's kind of like when you turn 18, you haven't worked, and you're like, well, I'm going to start working when I'm 19. It's like, well, you're going to work until the day you die,
Yeah.
right? So what difference does it make?
Yeah. And then roughly, I guess next thing I want to ask you is per day with the changes to season 6 compared to season 5. Do you feel like you're playing less, more, the same as till season 5?
Really, I feel like it's quite a bit less. Like, there's been some nights where I'm 1 a.m, I start watching my TV show and I'm just going through auto, and next thing you know, it's 3 a.m, and I'm like, oh, I barely, out of the 500 points I had to get, like, I'm only at 200 or 250, something like that,
Yeah.
right? These times are probably incorrect, but what I'm trying to say is that I've felt like I should have done a lot more than I had. And since the season started, it's been quite the opposite, where I'm like, oh, wow, I've already almost gotten through what I need to for the week, right?
Yeah.
And then I'm able to watch my show without having to put it on auto.
Yeah. So one of the things that I've been doing compared to other seasons is I've been testing how much time does it take me to play this game mode on auto. You can see my screen right now, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. So the one thing I've been doing on Twitch every day, at least the last couple of days, is I've actually been playing this game mode live on Twitch on auto and time myself with a stopwatch to see how long it took me to clear the dailies. Compared to, previous seasons and whatnot. So previous seasons, it roughly took me anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour to clear the dailies. Mainly because, the abilities were, 50 and there was a lot more of them, and the knockouts were 50. So a lot of times I'd go for the abilities first and then try to pick up knockouts going for them. And, and once I had the abilities done, then I would just go in for straight out knockout teams to get those completed. So same theory. I'm doing it live on Twitch, and the new average for me to clear these has been like 24 minutes. I think 24 minutes is as long as it took me so far in all the testing to clear off all the dailies. 24 minutes and I'm done. And that's probably winning every match except for 2. And with that, and the reason why I asked you if you see my screen, because you can also see how many villain abilities I've also gotten off to my weekly objective in that same time frame, right? That's all I'm doing. It's the knockouts. You guys can see right there. It's been 3 days. 3 days, yes, 3 days. 3 days, 100 knockouts. So it's got a few more knockouts than what I actually need up to this point. And, the villains are already halfway through. So you can see that I'm actually making progress and not having to spend more than, definitely less than a half an hour playing this game mode. Definitely saved myself a lot of time. That's why I kind of asked you how you felt your time was going. So I'm going to get into one of the complaints that I read on Reddit where, they felt like this season's changes were the worst yet. And I was a little confused by it. So I did ask my Twitch chat, and I think I said something to you earlier before we started the stream about it, and I tried to ask them, I was like, what about this is worse than season 5? And the worst thing they said to me was, you have to play into the 4th week to clear the battle pass. How do you feel about that?
Everything that comes out in this game is the worst yet.
Yeah.
That's how it is, right? And so in regards to this, I don't think that there's anything that's going to make these people happy, frankly. But having to play into another week, I mean, you can see their pain, I suppose. I mean, they managed to get everything done and were able to take 25% of the month off, which really says something that people were excited that they didn't have to play for a week.
Yeah. I mean, I was one of those people, but now I look at it, and this is how I look at it now, and you can tell me if you agree with this statement or not, is that I've now saved myself at least at a minimum 20 minutes a day, if not 30 minutes a day. Because the objectives are less, the weekly objectives are less, the knockouts are less. And since I'm saving myself 20 to 30 minutes every single day, even if I have to play into the 4th week, I'm still playing less time overall. That's the way I feel about it. Do you agree with that, or do you feel different about it?
Yeah, no, I agree. There's less time overall.
And that's kind of what I really want, people to take from this. Like, nowhere do I stay on the goal, stay on the post saying this is a perfect game mode. It's never going to be a perfect game mode. PvP at any kind of game like this is never going to be a perfect game mode. Unless you're picking your opponent and you're playing for stakes, right? It's just never going to be exciting. No matter what I say about this, right? I'm never going to be on the sideline like it's perfect, whatever. But I think I'm on the sideline to this point where I don't want them to touch this anymore. I don't want them to touch this because I don't want them to mess this up. Where are you at? Do you still want to see them tweak this, or you want to see it like you think it's the best it's going to get? So just stop, right? Because they're never going to walk away from it.
I think that there are some things that they can keep doing to make this more engaging.
Okay.
Like, I'll give you an example. Like they'll tell you that you need to use certain characters for this week, right? Yeah. And so you get Guardians, and I get Astonishing X-Men. So now you come across me in this mode, you have no chance in hell of winning. Like, you're not going to win, yeah, right? Unless it's like a 300k punch down. And even then, I still think that my X-Men are going to beat your Guardians, right? I think that if they were able to figure it out in such a way that, just for an example, 1 week, you got Guardians, I got Defenders, someone else got Kree, like everybody had an early meta team, and so now we had to go back and use characters that we haven't used in months or even over a year, I think that could be fun. But just the way that they're doing it right now, you're always gonna, Zemo's banned, but Silver Surfer isn't. He's banned. I'll bring Kestrel. It's just kind of like that, where it's just forcing you to use the new meta. So if they don't intend on making it more enjoyable, then just leave it as it is, right? Yeah. But if they do actually want to make it so we're not, I gotta do RTA, then I would like them to keep trying.
Yeah. So what you're saying, paraphrase, is you want to see them incorporate things like where we have to use our older characters, but it's forcing everyone to use their older characters, so to speak.
I think that could be more fun. Don't quote me on that, right? I think something like that would give more revival to it, right? Okay. But the reality is it's not going to make the money because you're not going to buy a Guardians of the Galaxy pack, right?
I mean, good point. I mean, I said if you guys find that fun, let me know down in the comments down below. But yeah, I said, but just overall, my feeling is like I don't want them to mess this up. Right, this is the best it's been to date, season 6. I understand that everyone's going to have their challenges, roster dependent, right? If you're an early mid game player, right, you're going to struggle more than a late game player. Players like myself, it's still not perfect, right? I still going for 30 knockouts. I still end up losing 2 battles, playing on auto, by the way, lose 2 battles. So it's never going to be a perfect matchmaking system, like, right? They said season 6 had the best matchmaking yet. In the very first, I kid you not, the very first battle I had when I loaded into season 6 was a 200k punch up, and the guy had Dr. Doom. And by the way, guys, I don't have Dr. Doom yet. So that
But you had lots of fun with that battle, right?
yeah. So that was my first experience, like after they said they've improved matchmaking, that and I was like, oh great. So the matchmaking, like I said, it's never going to be perfect. I have seen improvements where, like, if I'm going for currently on my screen I have Mystic, like if I put in a full Mystic team and someone else puts in a full Mystic team and our CPs are close, we tend to get matched up together. I've seen that change, right? I've seen when I'm going for ejected and I see like a mirror match, because that they're matching us up because we have the exact same team pretty much. Have you seen that change the matchmaking where you kind of get the exact same team, like a mirror match?
Yeah, it has gotten better. I mean, there are still the situations where I can't even was, but one of the last battles I did, I thought I was going to win. I lost, and I saw it was a 250k punch up for me.
Yeah.
Right, but overall, it has gotten a lot better. That's for sure.
So we're gonna wrap this up, right, guys? I just want to get a few points out there, like just to make sure that if some of you guys are like, if it depends on what you guys feel, right? If you don't feel like this is the best yet, let me know in the comments down below. If you agree with this, let me know. Like I said, I'm really trying to figure out what's best. It's the reason why I ask my Twitch chat when I see complaints about things that I don't quite understand. The best way you guys can inform me to help me inform others and try to have a better stance on something is let me know in those comments down below. But that's all I have on this one. Niko, do you have any last thoughts on RTA before we end this one?
Still sucks.
Still sucks. All right, guys. Fair enough. All right, guys. If you guys want to catch Niko, he does have a YouTube channel and he has a Twitch channel that he's kind of abandoned for right now. But if you guys want to catch either of those links to give him a follow or subscribe to YouTube, those links will be down below. And in case you're curious of what Niko does 2 times a week, guys, and this is pretty interesting, he does war review. So if you like those videos where people point out like counters and stuff like that, check out Niko's review, because not only does he go over one team, he goes over multiple teams, including his last video where someone failed an attack a 300k punch down with symbiotes. So if you want to curious of how bad symbiotes can blow an attack, you got to check out his channel. But with all that said, I do enjoy you guys checking this one out, so do me a huge favor, hit that thumbs up button. If you're new here and haven't done so already, hit that subscribe button. And if you do not want to miss any other video on my channel, hit that notification bell. And with all that said, I'll catch you guys on the next one.